Hey everyone, it's a Whiteout, and today I've got a tutorial on WorldEdit and just the simpler sides of it. But if you don't know what WorldEdit is a very powerful tool made to edit your Minecraft world. And if you know what MCEdit is, it's basically MCEdit but in the game. Now, this can be used in single player or on a server if the server has the plugin installed. So anyway, let me show you some of the commands. To get started, make sure you have it installed, and it comes with single player commands if you're using it for single player. And what you do to begin using it is just bring up your chat box and type //wand. Now all of the commands for WorldEdit begin with 2 slashes, and that's in single player or on the server. So that way you don't mix it up and accidentally do something on a different plugin that you didn't want to do. But anyway, let me show you how to do this. To get started, now I also have WorldEditCUI installed, so you'll actually see where I have selected. If you don't have it installed, which it doesn't come with WorldEdit, you won't see what you have selected, but it'll still work. I'll link WorldEditCUI in the description too, but that requires mod loader, so just be wary of that. Anyway, to begin, when you type //wand, you get a bronze axe. And what you do with that is you left click for your first point and you right click for your second point. So say I want my first point there, I left click, and then say I want my second point over here. I want to cover up this lake and all of the holes. So I come over here and click that. So now you can see that all of the holes around the lake have been covered. Now in a server, WorldEdit will fill that block back in, but on single player it won't. I'm not sure why, but that's just how it works. Now say I want to fill this in with grass. I can type one of two things. I can type //set, which will change all the blocks that are selected, and either 2 for grass, or I can type grass. If you don't know the block codes are listed all over the place, or you can type in most of the names of the blocks like grass, stone, sand, all of that stuff. So anyway, //set grass, and you'll see that it filled it up. Now say that I didn't want to do that, I accidentally messed up, I can do //undo. And then say that I undid that, but I realized, oh wait a minute, I did want that to begin with. So instead of having to type that back in, you can do //redo, and that'll fill it back in. Okay, well let's see. Say that I just want to fill the holes with stone. I don't want to change the entire thing to stone, just the hole. So instead of doing //set, I can do //replace, and then whatever item I want. So I'll say stone. And actually I messed up right there. I didn't actually type what I wanted to replace. So when you replace a block, you would type replace, then what block you want. So 0 or air, 0 is air, and then stone or 1. And as you can see, that filled it in. Now the 2 holes right here are because of the lily pads, so there's nothing I could do about that without setting or erasing those lily pads. But let's see, say I wanted to fill the hole with water, then I could just type replace 0 water, and there you go. You see that it replaced it. Now where those lily pads came up, it just kind of made the water go down right there, so I could just type that again, or well, undo and then type it again. And as you can see, now the water is solid. So this is really good for if you find, like, if you blow open a lake with TNT or something and you want to fill it in. Everyone should probably know how much of a pain it is to fill in a lake, so this really helps out. Now say that I decide that I want to move this over, maybe I'll say 20 blocks this way, and then start working on that stuff. Instead of having to reselect my area, if I want to keep the same area, I can just type //shift and then however many blocks. So I'll say 20. And that was a good guess. As you can see, that's off of the lake now and it's over here. So right now there isn't much that I can change. Well, I mean, I could change the grass, but other than that, I have one little layer selected. So say that I want to delete these two trees right here. I would do //shift1 and then U or up, but I'll just do U. You can do U for up, D for down, east, south, west, and north, or E, S, W, and N. So you just type in the first letter of the direction and it'll shift that way. Now that I want to, now that I know that I want to delete these trees, I'm going to count up how many blocks, or I could just estimate it, but I'll count. So about 9 or so, so I'll just expand it 10. So I'll do expand to expand it, and then 10U. And you'll see that it made a big cube, and it goes right over the top of the tree. Now I can do one of two things. I can do / set 0 or air, and you'll see that it went away. Or if I had like a mountain and some other stuff around here, I could just do replace leaves air, and then replace wood air. Well, for some reason that's not, oh, wood, that's one thing. Wood is considered wooden planks. I'll show you. If I do set wood, it's all planks. So to actually change this wood of a tree, it might be log actually. Yep, that's what it was. It would have been replace log. Now right there, if you noticed, I would have had to hit undo twice. So what I did instead of that is just undo and then 2. That undoes the last 2 actions. So that's pretty self-explanatory and makes it a lot easier than having to type undo several times. Alright, so now say that I want to build just a quick little simple wooden house. I'll just go with that. Now say that I don't want it this tall, so what I can do is / contract, and I'll say I want it 3 shorter, so I'll type 3D, and that brought it 3 layers down. Now when I look at it, I see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks high, and alright, that'll work for now. Now there's 2 things I can do here. If I just want walls, then I would type / walls and then wood for wooden planks, and that just builds the walls around instead of doing the whole thing. If I did / set wood, it would change the entire thing, excuse me, and make it solid. Or the other thing I could do would be, I'll go back to regular so you can see this, is / outline wood. And what that does is it builds the walls and the ceiling and the floor. Walls just does the walls as it says, or as it sounds, and then outline does the walls, the ceiling, and the floor. So that would make it really quick to build anything, and I'll just do that again. And then what I'm going to do here is start a new selection, and I'm going to make this whole thing glass. So I came right into the middle, and I want to make the entire middle layer glass. So I'm going to fly around here and select this entire middle region. As you can see, it's selected right there, and just do / walls glass, if I can type. And there we have it. We have glass on the inside, just on that middle layer. If I would have typed / set glass, then it would have changed this entire middle layer, but because I only did walls, then it only changed that layer. So it's a pretty helpful little tool that you can use to edit, and the fact that you can make all of this stuff. Now say that I decided that I want to move my house a little bit over there. I'm going to select one corner, and I'm going to come down here and select the other corner, and of course I have the whole thing selected. Now let's see, I'm just going to open the front up here, and I see that because of my outline, the way that I had everything selected, the wood is off of the ground. So what I'm going to do is move it 1 down into the ground. So I'm going to type / move 1 and then down. And as you can see, it just shifted it down. Let me grab a wooden plank and now it's down here, and I'll undo that so you can see the difference. Originally it was like that, so / move 1D. Now we have this. Now whenever you move something anywhere, it will move the actual selection, but it won't move your original selection. So you can still see that that layer is still selected and the bottom layer isn't, if you can tell. So I'm gonna / shift 1D. Just shift exactly what you moved originally, and it'll move it down for you. Now, I'm not quite sure why that just disappeared, but oh, that's the one that I selected first. So I can just go ahead and place that down. Now say that I want to move my house over 5, or let's say 6, this way. Now I could type I could do this one of two ways. I could do / move 6 and then the direction, but you can't use any mini maps, because I can turn on this mini map and you can see how I'm looking west according to my mini map, but west on the mini map is not west according to WorldEdit. So the easier way to do this, and it's amazing that they added this in, is whichever way you're looking will be the way that it moves, it shifts, or it expands if you don't type that in. So if I just type move 6 while looking this way and I don't type in east or down or up, I just leave it at 6, it'll move it 6 that way. Now if I look up and type in shift 6 U, it'll shift it 6 up. So that makes it very helpful in the fact that you don't have to know your direction in order to do anything. And I accidentally just did that wrong, so let me try this again. So I'm going to, since I just selected this, in fact here I'll select it like this to show you something else. Say that I have this selected and you can see that I don't have the bottom layer of my house selected or the top layer. Instead of typing / expand 1 down and then expand 1 up, I can do it a lot easier. If I do 1 space U or D, so say 1 U, that's going to expand it 1 block in both directions, and up is the direction. So if I did east, it would expand it 1 block east and 1 block west. If I did it south, it would do 1 block south and 1 block north. Excuse me. So when I type this in, you'll see that it went up right there and down right there. And this could be expand 5 8 E, and you can see that it expanded 5 blocks this direction and 8 blocks this direction. So it makes it very helpful, and that'll actually happen sometimes. Maybe, I don't know why it does that, but sometimes if you click, it'll decide to select -1 -1 -1, and if it does that, you need to be really careful because you'll end up changing about 2 million blocks and probably crash yourself. But that is pretty much most of the basics. I will make another tutorial at some point and show off a little more intermediate commands, and I won't really get into brushes and stuff until maybe the advanced level tutorial, if I get to that, because I'm honestly not that great with brushes myself. But WorldEdit is very powerful, if you can't tell, and it's what I use on my server to handle all of the plots, and that's pretty much that. And I'll show you one more command, and that is expand vert. If you type / expand vert and hit enter, it'll select every single block from the very bottom layer all the way to the very top layer. So then I could / set 0. Even though I put 2 zeros, it still worked. And there you see my hole. And it goes all the way down to the void and all the way up to to sky level. So that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped you out. And yeah, keep watching for more videos.